Sides TV with me, Isma. India has embarked on an ambitious infrastructure push to revive and expand a century-old network of canals originating from the Indus River system. This decision comes on the heels of India's suspension of the Indus Water Treaty or IWT, with Pakistan citing national security concerns after a deadly terrorist attack in Pahalgaon. With the treaty no longer imposing constraints, India is moving ahead of the improved water resource utilization, bolster agricultural irrigation and enhance hydropower capacity, particularly in the strategically significant Jammu and Kashmir region. The plan includes restoring neglected canals such as the Ranbir, Kathua and New Pratap and creating new infrastructure to reduce reliance on erratic monsoon patterns. Here's a special report from Foresights TV. The Indus Waters Treaty, signed in 1960 and brokered by the World Bank, governed the distribution of water from the Indus and its tributaries between India and Pakistan. Under the treaty, India had limited rights over the western rivers Indus, Chenab and Jhelum, restricting its ability to construct large-scale irrigation or hydropower projects. However, following the Pahalgaon terror attack in April 2025, which killed 26 civilians, India suspended the treaty, arguing that continued cross-border terrorism made peaceful bilateral treaties untenable. India's move had been framed as both a strategic response to the terrorism and a long overdue infrastructural correction, as officials point out that population growth, evolving water demands and climate change have rendered the IWT outdated. The government's immediate focus is the desilting and expansion of several key irrigation channels, some of which were built over a century ago during the British era. Ranbir Canal, built in 1905, currently about 60 km long, the government is considering doubling its length to 120 km to meet the increasing water demand in Jammu. This canal primarily caters to Jammu's agricultural needs but has been operating under severe constraints due to treaty gaps. New Pratap Canal, built for irrigation the Kandi belt in the Jammu district, its current utilization is just over 9,000 hectares, although it was designed for nearly double that. Expansion aims to restore this canal's command area and transform it into major irrigation sources again. Kathua and Ravi canals, these are among the first to undergo desilting under the J&K government's plan, with the technical support from central agencies. Officials say the project will increase irrigation capacity, particularly in the monsoon-deficient Jammu region, where over 90% of irrigation water is sourced from canals. Alongside irrigation, India is also fast-tracking hydropower projects that were stalled or delayed under the IWT framework. The key developments include Kishan Ganga, Rattle, Miyar Nalla, Lower Kalanai Pakal Dal hydropower projects and the Tulbul navigation projects on Wular Lake. The proposed increase in hydropower capacity from the current 3,000 megawatt is seen as a critical component of India's long-term energy strategy in northern India. Officials confirm that feasibility studies for new dams are underway, particularly along the Chenab and Jhelum rivers. The planned expansion of the Ranbir Canal, for example, includes increased water diversion for both irrigation and hydropower generation, previously limited to 1,000 cuses for irrigation and 250 cuses for energy under the treaty. Pakistan has objected strongly to India's suspension of the IWT, labeling any diversion of river water as an act of war. However, India has maintained that the treaty is no longer viable unless Pakistan permanently ceases support for cross-border terrorism. The Indian government has made it clear that the treaty will remain suspended indefinitely and the country will now maximize its rightful use of water from Indus water systems, particularly those following through its territory. India's decision to overhaul its Indus Canal system marks a significant policy and strategic shift with long-term implications for water security, food production and energy generation in the country's northern frontier. By suspending the Indus Water Treaty and pushing ahead with long-delayed infrastructure projects, India is asserting its right over water resources it legally shares under international law, while also strengthening its agricultural backbone and energy independence. The move is also a strong political message, linking national infrastructure policy with a firm stance against terrorism. While Pakistan's objections are likely to continue, India seems resolute in its path forward, focused on self-reliance, regional development and strategic deterrence. That's all for today. Thanks for watching 4 Sides TV with me, Isma.